There's another stat in there that I think applies to every pitcher. Opponents are hitting 176 against Bannister when leading off an inning. You can get that leadoff hitter out. It's much more difficult to start a rally as opposed to a leadoff base hit or a leadoff walk.
Right, and it really depends who that leadoff guy is. I mean, Ichiro can not only get on base, but he can steal a base, he can score on a double, and you can get yourself in trouble. But you'll find throughout the lineup, if you get every inning, if you get that leadoff guy out, you do have a chance not to have that big inning.
Suzuki 2 out of 5 last night, couple of singles, batting at .297. It's 2-2. And as we mentioned last night, right before he struck out in his final at bat, he is tough to walk. Only 4 walks all season. Still 2-2.
Yeah, the one thing he does, he takes that tough pitch. That was a tough pitch on the outside right there, and he just does just enough to foul it off, and he's got the ability to keep, even though he leaves early with his body, he keeps his hand in the strike zone a long time, and he can foul those tough pitches off. I think that's why he's so hard to walk.
Up the middle, Aviles cuts it off behind the bag. Didn't get him. So Ichiro can still fly and opens the game with an infield single.
When you have a guy like Ichiro who hits a lot of high choppers, gets a lot of infield hits, I think the guys in the middle should really shorten up to almost double plate depth to take those hits away. And if he hits the hard balls through, I think you can live with that. But I think those little high hoppers right in front of you, take those away, and they got a better chance of getting him out.
He has stolen 4 bases this year, caught twice. And Gutierrez, who leads the league with 4 sacrifice bunts, thinking about laying one down here in the first inning. Gutierrez 2 hits last night. Mariners 9 hits, but only 1 run against Sidney Ponson, Horacio Ramirez, and Kyle Farnsworth. Little high, 2-0.
It's got to be kind of tough. You work hard to get the leadoff guy to hit a ground ball, and you don't get him out. And so that's a little depressing right there, right off the bat.
And now it's 3-0. Gutierrez, first year with the Mariners. We saw him with the Cleveland Indians. Traded to Seattle. The Indians had a loaded outfield and decided to stick with Ben Francisco instead of Gutierrez. They were about even on the depth chart. It's a cutter for strike 1. Franklin Gutierrez hit his first 3 major league home runs against the Royals, all against left-hand pitchers. Jorge De La Rosa, Odalis Perez, and Andrew Sisco.
We saw him make some nice plays in right field. He just went across some nice diving plays. He's a very good outfielder.
Suzuki running, pitch is swung on and missed, and that's a rare short throw down to second base for Miguel Olivo.
Well, I think what happens there, Brian, is he knows he got to get it and get rid of it, and maybe it didn't have the good grip on the ball that he should have, and then buried it down in the ground. Aviles really did a great job picking the ball and trying to help him out on this throw.
Still was very close. Suzuki has those ultralight fast shoes. Remember we talked about that last year? The shoe company Asics designs Suzuki's shoe. The typical shoe weighs 350 grams. Suzuki's weigh 260, so he's running in ballet slippers. And it's still 3-2 on Franklin Gutierrez. Beautiful day at the ballpark. It's Kids Day at the K. Started on time at 1:10, 75 perfect degrees. Time and temp presented by the parking spot. Easy to spot, easy to park. The parking spot at KCI. 20,000 kids at Kauffman Stadium. He went. Didn't want to. So Banny comes back from 3-0 and strikes out Gutierrez. 1 down. Royals defense today with De Jesus in left. Coco Chris back in center field with Jose Guillen. Mark Tien with Mike Aviles back at shortstop. Willie Bloomquist shifts over to second. Billy Butler at first. And Miguel Olivo behind the plate for Brian Bannister. And now Jose Lopez, who also had 2 hits last night. Great thing about baseball is you never know what's going to happen on a given day. It could be a boring game, could be an exciting game. We might see some history. But I will guarantee you one thing about today's game. We will lead the major leagues today in screaming.
Kids Day at the K.
Upper deck is packed. Local news station in Kansas City, Fox 4, sponsors Kids Day, and they have for years. And the weather team comes out, and they have first of all, a guy parachuting into the ballpark, and then a bunch of different weather demonstrations. There's Mike Thompson, the lead meteorologist, Joe Loria, and then Don Harmon, the Fox 4 helicopter then lands in center field. Slugger comes out. Jammed in a slow roller to the left side. Aviles throwing back across the diamond. And because of that play, nobody was covering third base, so Suzuki moves up. 2 infield singles for the Mariners and runners at first and third.
That's one of those in-between balls, and Mark plays off the line and deep. And really, when you go that far for a ball that's slow and dive for it, you're probably not going to have a play on that play either way. But Mike did make a great play getting to that ball. And just, like I say, nobody was at third, and his only play was to first base.
Now, in slow motion, it looks like Aviles might have had the option of running towards third base or maybe try and tag out Suzuki. Completely different than game speed, but is that an option or is that a decision he has to make before the ball even goes in his glove?
Well, I think anytime the shortstop's got to go back on the grass and backhand the ball, he's very rarely going to beat that guy at third base. When you see the splits right here, even though Suzuki holds up, what he's looking for there is Mike's body, whether he's going to fake a throw to first and hold it or not, and then he'll go over. But once he saw Mike release the ball, he went ahead to third base. So that would have been an awful difficult play, because I don't think he would have gone if had Mike made any moves toward third base.
Nice block by Olivo, which keeps the double play in order. And then watching it again at regular speed, it was very obvious that by the time Aviles may have noticed Suzuki was running, he was already into his throw.
Right, he just had one play, and Mike was pretty good about taking that ball and throwing it at third base. So, but once Tien left and made the dive, it really took that play away from him.
On the corner, it's 1-2 on Russell Branyan. He and Miguel Olivo got into it last night when Mitch Meyer threw Branyan out at the plate. Olivo applying a high tag. And then they were able to make up later in the game when Olivo singled and was standing at first base with Russell Branyan. Still 1-2. Well, it's a great day to be at the ballpark, and with the 20,000 kids who are mostly in the upper deck and several other fans coming today, we're going to be close to a sellout. The Royals going for a 4-0 homestand. Full count. Check that, 2-2.
Yeah, the kids are all have different colors so they won't get lost. So the chaperones will know exactly who's who and where they are. So you got red, yellow, green, lime green. So they got all the colors today.
Did he go? No. Yeah, if you blur your eyes and look at the upper deck, it looks like a gumball machine. It's little pockets of different colors. Steve Kurtenbach, our director, reminding me a lot of counting of bodies by the teachers today at the ballpark.
Oh, that's the only way you can keep up with them is have them all wear the same thing and know how many kids you brought with you to start with.
And there was an absolute sea of school buses outside of the ballpark.
They're pretty excited with all the demonstrations going on, and I was really excited how they make clouds, and it was really kind of neat to watch clouds develop.
Big strikeout for Bannister, his second of the inning.
Banny does a great job here of climbing the ladder and keeping that fastball in the outer half. He'd gotten a strike in that same area, went right back there. Brandon's a big guy that likes to stretch his arms out, and that ball just kept moving away.
So 2 infield singles and 2 strikeouts. Now it comes down to Bannister and Beltre, who's after the first pitch. Beltre 0 for 3 last night, but had a sacrifice fly, leading to the only Seattle run in the Royals' 9-1 victory. Right to Bloomquist. And Banny gets out of it. Mariners strand 2 in the first. Coco Chris back to leading off. David DeJesus will hit second. Willie Bloomquist, who batted second last night, drops down to number 7, followed by Miguel Olivo and Mike Aviles. And today the Royals are facing 34-year-old Jared Washburn. Here's the Kia scouting report.
Well, Jared Washburn's a guy that really throws a lot of strikes. He's around the plate and shows he had a tough time with David DeJesus and Coco Crispo. And Coco leading off. That'll be the opposite of Bannister and Suzuki.
Coco out of the starting lineup for the first time this year last night. After a long game on Tuesday, 4 hours and 33 minutes. Trey figured yesterday was a good day to give his leadoff man and center fielder a day off. Even though Coco finished strong in that game on Tuesday, a single and then 4 consecutive walks. A little high, 1 and 2. And those 4 walks giving him 21 for the season, which is the 3rd most in the American League. On the corner, and Coco didn't even need to hear from the home plate umpire. He was on his way to the dugout. One away for David DeJesus, who batted leadoff last night, a familiar spot for him. And before the game, Trey saying that maybe that would get him going back to a familiar place, and it did. 2 hits, a walk, 2 runs scored.
Yeah, you really don't see a huge difference between batting first and batting second for David. I think that I've liked about David is that he's been able to eliminate that fastball inside from a lefty off the plate and just take it for a ball, and then going a little bit further out on the plate and then be able to turn on it and drive it down in the corner. So his pitch selection has really gotten better.
And as we've discussed so many times, when a guy goes bad, it's easy to think, what am I doing wrong? My head, my shoulders. But a lot of times a hitting coach like a Kevin Seitzer will say, well, what are you swinging at?
That's what I say. Leave the video alone. Just ask yourself, are you swinging at strikes? And that's the only time you're gonna hear a hitting coach say that you don't need to go to video, you don't need batting practice. You need to evaluate what pitches you're swinging at.
Something that Kevin really wanted to do with each hitter beginning in spring training was help each guy identify what is your strength. What pitch do you hit well? What location? And then when you go to the plate early in the count, look for that pitch.
And that's what we talked about a number of times.
That's hammered into deep left center field, and Jesus puts it off the Maxima sign for an extra base zip. I've been waiting to say that all year.
But we talked about David's pitch selection getting better, and he just moved Washington's fastball out over the plate, then try to pull it, stayed behind it, and drove it to the left center field wall. You can see how he stays back behind the ball. His hands got through the ball very well. And David is, if you improve your pitch selection, normally you improve everything else about you at bat.
So runner at second, 1 out. And a breaking ball for a strike on Mark Teahen. He had 3 hits last night. Royals finished the game with 17. Teahen 3 hits, his 4th home run of the year, and 3 RBIs.
And he did a real good job making adjustments last night. He would chase that breaking ball down and away, but he did a good job of slowing himself down, seeing the ball a little bit longer, and then he got a nice base hit through the middle.
Broke his bat. Ran into the bag himself. 2 down. DeJesus over to third base. And up comes Jose Guillen. Let's take a look at the Mariners on defense. Valentin is in left with Gutierrez and Suzuki. Beltre at third. Ronnie Cedeno is at shortstop with Lopez and Branyan. And Rob Johnson behind the plate. Kenji Jojimo was back at the plate last night. For Jared Washburn, whose career record is right at 500. 101 wins, 101 losses. 0-1 on Jose Guillen. A base hit, a walk, 2 runs scored last night. And Guillen has hit in 7 straight coming in today. Johnson saves a run, 1-1.
Well, Jose's done a great job of using the whole field. He's been able to go to right field in key situations for base hits with 2 outs. And, you know, the big home run he hit against Baker in Minnesota was a 3-run homer to right center field. And then he's taken the changeup and the slider and 2 of his home runs to left field here in Kansas City.
That ball got away from Washburn. It's 2-1. With Billy Butler on deck.
I asked Jose before the game today about his leg, and we were watching how he was running last night, and I personally thought maybe he was still sore, but I talked to him. He says it's not sore at all. It's just not as strong as he would like it to be.
Hit hard into center field. That thing needs to sink or sail. Gutierrez almost misplayed it into a run. No score at the end of one. In your opinion, what has helped contribute most to the Royals being in first place? A, offense, B, starting pitching, C, relief pitching, D, for defense. Text 432-432, enter keyword Royals, followed by a space, and your answer, and we will update often. Standard text rates do apply. Ken Griffey Jr. leads off, a guest of Joel Goldberg in Royals Live for the game today. Talking a lot about how much fun he has coming to the ballpark, and that goes back to when he was a 19-year-old rookie with the Mariners. Some didn't like the fact that he would come out and he had his hat on backwards and was having a good time, but he really seemed to come. I don't know really what the landscape of the game was at the time, Frank, but he really seemed to come at a good time because obviously he was a very good player, but he just seemed to loosen up the whole game, not just his team.
Well, I think the one thing about Griff that I remember is that, like you said, he was just real loose, and he always had a smile on his face. Nothing ever seemed to bother him. But when you're as good as he was, you know, you're different when you come to the ballpark. You know what you're doing, and you know what you bring to the table, and you don't have no stress of having to go out there and worry about your plan or not. So he's going to have a little more fun than a normal guy. But when a guy with his reputation is that loose, it's got to help the other guys in the clubhouse also.
He told Joel a great story. Don Wakamatsu, first year as Mariners manager, implemented a new team rule that on days of travel everyone has to wear a tie. So Griffey went out and had 40 ties made with Wakamatsu's face printed on the front and passed them out to everyone. Now what do you think of this rule?
Well, he gets to see himself coming and going all day. And that in itself is a different way the teams travel. When I was playing, we had to wear coat and tie for the majority of the time, depending on who the manager was. So I thought a lot of teams have kind of gotten away from that. But I think a lot of managers look at it as more of a professional look when you go into hotels and things like that. Sometimes they may relax it if you're coming home. But if you get in hotels at a reasonable hour and people in the hotel and they see your team come in, they want the guys to look professional as possible when they come through the door.
This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat, and it's stroked into center field. Griffey has his second hit of the series, and for the second straight inning, a leadoff base hit for Seattle. This is his 21st year in the major leagues, and he still has that kid-like look on his face. That was his nickname, the Kid, when he was a 19-year-old in 1989.
Yeah, he also made a statement about, I like to live through my kids. You know, they're having a good time. He'd like to have a good time with them. So that keeps you young, too. And I think he's really having a great time playing this year.
Vladimir Ballantyne takes strike one. Not in the lineup last night, but off to a 342 start with a home run and 2 driven in. Hard hit. Aviles. Bloomquist. Double play.
Well, the double plays don't get any easier than this. This is just a hard hit ball to Mike Aviles. Nice feed to Bloomquist at second. Easy throw to second to first base. It don't get any easier. Nice hard boom. You can turn those all day long.
Now Willie's choking on a B. I think all the B's are gone from our camera behind home plate. Oh, I was wrong. They're still here. 10 to 15,000 of them were removed on Tuesday. 1 and 2 on catcher Rob Johnson. I must save the Queen.
Those are British bees you were talking about last night.
Bannister gives up a leadoff single, but gets a double play and a strikeout. Northwest. Today is his 5,000th game broadcasting Mariners baseball, and the jumbo board saying my oh my, his trademark call on a good play or a long home run. And then he also says fly away for home run balls.
I talked to him a little bit before the game, and he said, this is my 5,000th game with the Mariners, but I think I got a couple thousand with the Angels. So, he said that's a lot of walks.
Working with former Mariners infielder Mike Blowers. 1-1 to Billy Butler, and now he slams it into left center. Royals with their second hit. Billy with his fourth hit in the last 2 games. 3 hits, a walk, 2 runs scored last night.
Billy just using his hands, and the ball's coming down and in, and we talked about it last night, how his eyes get big when he sees the ball and his concentration on the ball when it comes off the bat, and he did a great job right there.
Leading to another Royal who had a big night last night, Mike Jacobs. On base 4 times, 3 hits, a walk, and he drove in 3. So 19 runs driven in for Mike Jacobs. That leads the Royals. John Buck has driven in 17. Jacobs, 19 RBIs, not among the league leaders, but it speaks to how balanced the Royals offense is. You mentioned this at the top of the broadcast. Royals have 8 different hitters with at least 10 RBIs this year.
Well, the offense is slowly starting to catch up with the pitching. The pitching carried the club earlier, but now the offense is starting to get on track. And you know the guys who hit last year and they hit in spring training, and it only mattered time. The weather's starting to warm up a little bit, and they're starting to get their swings together, and they're starting to get into the mix also.
There's the first scream of significance of the day. Just missed outside. Only the Toronto Blue Jays have more hitters with 10 RBIs. They have 10. And then the Royals with 8. Just able to make contact. Butler tagged out. Jacobs thrown out. 2 down.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, Ryan. When I played, the second baseman will never be allowed to tag you like that. All you have to do is just bump him right there, knock him off balance, and you can at least avoid the double play. I've never really liked the guy going down to second base and allowing the second baseman just walk up and tag him like that. I think you got to be a little more aggressive in that situation. If the umpires know this play, as long as you don't flip the elbows out, they'll let you have that play.
Ball 1 on Willie Bloomquist. Here's today's Toyota League leaders, brought to you by your Kansas City area Toyota dealers. And Willie has the 4th longest current hitting streak in the American League. Victor Martinez at 15. Evan Longoria is having a huge year for the Rays after winning Rookie of the Year last year. Michael Young, another solid season for him. And then Willie Bloomquist, who was supposed to be a part-time player, comes in today having hit in 9 straight. 1 hop, an awkward hop to Cedeno, but he grabs it with his bare hand, and the inning is over. President of Shawnee, Kansas, mother of 2 daughters, founded Purses of Promise, which collects gently used or new handbags, fills them with necessary items, and distributes them to women in domestic abuse shelters, hoping each gift symbolizes the promise of a new beginning. So congratulations to Melanie, sitting in the Buck O'Neill legacy seat at today's game. Ronnie Cedeno just made an impressive play at shortstop, handling a bad hop with his bare hand and throwing out Willie Bloomquist to win the bottom of the 2nd inning. One ball, 2 strikes. Cedeno from Venezuela, and how many slick fielding shortstops are from that country? Signed by the Cubs when he was 16 years old. One of the greatest shortstops ever is from Venezuela and originally from the Mariners organization, Omar Vizquel. Bannister strikes out his 4th. So 1 away, and now Ichiro Suzuki as we take a look at today's Roadrunner Turbo Speed pitch. Comparing Brian Bannister and Jared Washburn, they'll work in the low 90s. Fast is even faster. You can double your speed with Roadrunner Turbo from Time Warner Cable. Suzuki an infield single and a stolen base in the 1st inning. And he got to 3rd with just 1 out, but Bannister struck out Russell Branyan and got Adrian Beltre to line out. And it's 0-2.
Well, you look at Micah Vilas, he actually shortened up a lot more in this at bat. Still back deep at 2nd base, but he very rarely hits the ball at 2nd base. But it's really not. I think I'd rather have him hit the ball hard by me than to get that little soft high hopper in front of me for a base hit.
Well, especially in the mind of a pitcher. I mean, a pitcher can deal with a ball that's well hit and goes through, but you said that, I'm sure, was deflating for Banny. He gets a weak ground ball from Suzuki, but no outs.
That's true. Like anytime a pitcher can keep a guy that can run, a guy that can not only run down the line but can steal bases, if they can keep him off the base or something like that, they make the pitch, they want the out.
Olivo wanted that pitch down, and it's fouled away, still 0-2. Seen a lot of those no-seam fastballs today, which has a cutting action, which means it'll run into a left-hand batter. It's a curveball outside, 1-2.
The biggest difference I see in it, Ryan, is that it goes down more than the regular 2-seamer that kind of slides across the plate. It's still in the strike zone. That looked like a new pitch.
56 miles an hour, tearing a page out of Zach Greinke and Joakim Soria's books.
Well, he's making an attempt to throw a real slow curveball, but it's kind of it slipped out of his hand and stayed up. But I don't think we've ever seen him throw that pitch.
Driven to deep right field. Guillen won't get this one, and it's off the fence. Suzuki will hold at 2nd base with a double, so Royals do a good job of getting it back to the infield. So down in the count, 1-2. Suzuki hits just his 2nd double of the year.
Well, Benny does a great job of slowing the ball down with that big slow curveball, but on the fastball he really left it up. It's supposed to get it down and in, but so that's the slow curveball the pitch before. That's the pitch we haven't seen. And then he tried to get the fastball in and left it up out over the plate. And like you said, at times Suzuki can turn on that high fastball.
Only 5 extra base hits for Ichiro Suzuki. So runner at 2nd, 1 out. for Franklin Gutierrez. Banny struck him out in the first inning. After 2 excellent starts, Banny took a no decision on Saturday at Minnesota. That was that crazy back and forth game that the Royals won in 11 innings. He was still in the box when the ball hit him, so 1-1 to Gutierrez. Bannister was the victim of some bad luck in Minnesota. A couple of errors in the second inning and 3 unearned runs. Was able to limit the damage. Went 5 1/3 innings. And the Royals won it in the 11th. Good changeup.
That's the changeup you want to throw to a right-hander right there. That one that comes in and goes straight down. When right-handers throw changeups to right-handers, they get in trouble when it runs back into the bat.
Two and two. A bright day, so even the hitters will be wearing sunglasses. Started to go. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Mariners 13th in the league in hitting, 11th in home runs, 12th in runs, and 8th in stolen bases. So they haven't been doing it with their offense. They come in today in 2nd place, a half game behind Texas. They've been doing it with their pitching. There's the cutter. 5 strikeouts for Bannister. Kids Day at Kauffman Stadium. And a member of our broadcast, too, is the biggest kid here today, Joel Goldberg.
Ryan Frank's school day at the K is always fun, and the kids are up there packed into the stands, and some of them, maybe the younger ones, are down here. The outfield experience, very popular again today, and kids having fun on the carousel. Let's go back upstairs to you guys. Lots of kids, lots of screams, and a good time at the ballpark.
Joel, I'm disappointed. I thought you'd be riding one of the horses.
I did too. If you're going to do a report on the carousel, you got to get in that thing, right?
I think so.
Now here's the deal, guys.
Oh, I didn't know Barry White was on our broadcast team.
I just wanted to let you know that I can't do that until Split comes back.
Why?
Because Split would be really disappointed if I got onto that carousel and he was not behind the mic to just absolutely shred me. Frank would go kind of easy.
I don't know, Joel. He's getting pretty comfortable up here.
Yeah, he is.
I just wanted to see how big a horse you would pick to sit on.
Frank, I'll do it if you want to come out there and ride in the big glove. Since you are a Gold Glover.
Where's the glove at?
It's on the carousel. You just sit in it. You plop down in it. I know you're always trying to get comfortable, as Ryan just said.
I will get in that glove if you would serve me.
Oh, man. Well, being as I always seem to be bringing you guys food.
Well, if you serve me, I'll sit in there.
There it is. You sit in there, and I'll bring you some Sheridan's custard.
That'll work.
All right. Ryan, you're going to have to come out there, too, if you want anything.
No, thank you.
Back to you.
3 Royals in foul territory, and it's Aviles making the play on the pop-up from Lopez. 3 scoreless innings for Bannister. Stadium Thursday, May the 14th during the Sprint Series against the Orioles. Country Club Plaza, Macy's, and 38 The Spot are teaming up for the night. Ticket packages benefit the Susan G. Komen for the Cure, and 10,000 ladies will receive this Royals cap from the Country Club Plaza. One and one to Miguel Olivo, 1 for 4 last night. He's hit in 4 straight. Coming in today, the hot part of the Royals lineup is position 3 through 8, where every hitter has a hitting streak of 4 games or more. That's 6 straight hitters feeling good coming to the ballpark today. That is a second strikeout for Jared Washburn.
When you're putting your lineup together, you know all 9 guys aren't going to be hot on the same day, but if you can get 6 out of 9 swinging the bat good on any given day, you got a chance to put some runs on the board.
Mike Avila's not in the lineup last night. Trey wanted to give him the night off, and Willie Bloomquist played it short and answered with a couple of hits and a run scored. 0-1 from Jared Washburn. Into right center field, slicing away from Gutierrez, but he has great range. Made that play look easy. 2 down in the 3rd. Royals baseball brought to you today by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. Part of the outfield experience, the Pepsi porch, standing room only. Whether we've had a crowd of 38,000 or 9,000 this year, it's nice to see the new outfield experience packed on most of those days.
I think they're really going to like it when it gets hotter, when it gets into July and August, and they can raise the fountains up a little bit and let the water blow a little bit more. They're really going to like it. April, when the dry duck fountain seats, where we're still in April, and some of those cool nights and the wind got the whip in the water, those are miserable nights for those folks out there.
Yeah. A lot of short sleeves today. 75 degrees and sunshine at first pitch. 1-2 on Coco. Struck out looking in the first inning. Two and two.
We were talking about Coco's walks earlier and how many he's had so far this season. The ones that have really excited me are the ones that you know he goes up there with the intention of getting a walk. And they've been in big situations where you got to get a guy on, you got to get that leadoff man on that inning and get you back in the game. And he just shows so much patience throughout those at-bats when he's walked.
Laid off a very close pitch right there on 2-2 to work a full count. And then hits it hard, fair past Beltre. So with 2 outs, the Royals have a runner in scoring position. Coco comes back from 1-2 and hits his 8th double of the year.
And one thing he does also, he uses the whole field, both sides, and he gets the ball down to the middle right-handed. He can really turn on this pitch. He takes his 89 mile-an-hour fastball, hits it right inside the bag. So he's quick inside, right and left-handed.
And now David DeJesus, who doubled off the wall in left center field in the first inning. Coco takes off for third. And Rob Johnson doesn't even think about throwing down there. 0-1 on DeJesus.
That's what you call not paying attention to him at all. And a lot of teams will let you have that base with 2 outs. But I tell you, when you know a guy will steal, you got to pay him some attention, I would believe, because it's harder for him to score from second than it is from third.
Backhanded by Cedeno, loses control, and the Royals have the lead. And without that stolen base, the Royals don't score a run.
Well, now you see the importance of it. It's better to be 90 feet away because things can happen, such as this error by Cedeno, and you can get your what I call that a cheap run because you manufactured it and it didn't take a base hit for you to get the runner in.
The way DeJesus hit that ball, that thing might have had a lot of side spin on it.
It was probably squirting away from him a little bit, but you got to make sure you secure the ball. He just tried to get in too big a hurry. His head left the ball before he secured it in his glove.
0-1 on Martin, grounded out in the first inning. So the Royals getting an unearned run in the third inning to take the lead. Branyan to Washburn, and that's the inning. With 2 outs and nobody on, Coco doubles, steals third, comes home on an error. Brian Bannister has a 1-0 lead going to the fourth inning. Ryan Lefebvre with Frank White and Joe Goldberg. And, you know, when you're playing well, you get runs like that. When you're not playing well, it seems like you're lining the ball right into the defense all the time.
Well, this is the aggressive way that the Royals want to play the game, and they're going to take what the other team is giving them. And Coco did a great job of stealing third base and scoring on the error. Banny's doing an outstanding job getting ahead of the hitters. He's using his cutter, and he's mixing his pitches both sides of the plate, and he's working at a good pace.
All right, so Bannister, after 3 shutout innings, back to work with a 1-0 lead, and facing Russell Branyan, whose bat turns into a box of toothpicks and grounds out. Wow. Here's the pitch by pitch. Didn't take very long. Brought to you by Arby's.
Well, the one thing Banny's doing with Branyan, he comes down underneath with his cutter, and it could be his two-seam fastball. It could be his slip pitch, but then he goes a real two-seamer that went down and away, and then maple bat, and we've seen it 100 times this year. They just break and fly all over the field.
Shallow right, and Guillen playing deep with Beltre's power. That lands for a base hit. So 1-0 on, one out. Beltre is 1 for 2.
Well, Jose's coming back off of a leg injury, and I talked to him before the game today. He says his legs are not sore, but they don't feel quite as strong as he wanted them to feel. But so that could be a reason why he wasn't able to get to that ball right there.
And now Griffey singled to center field in the second inning. Griffey was only in the big leagues for 10 or 11 years when he was named to the All-Century team in the turn of the millennium. That's how good he was in his first 10 years. You're talking about putting him in the class of the best all time, and he was still in the prime of his career.
Well, there wasn't anything that he couldn't do, Ryan. I mean, he could run. He played great center field, had a great throwing arm, accurate, and he had one of the sweetest swings you ever want to see in the game.
Went around. Here's the all-time home run list. And when he broke in and the way he was hitting home runs, it was thought that he would be the one to pass Hank Aaron. And of course, Barry Bonds started hitting all those home runs, and Alex Rodriguez might have had a shot at being the all-time home run hitter before his career is over. But Ken Griffey Jr. was the fastest in Major League history to 350, 400, and 450 home runs. He got there quicker than anyone, but then all the injuries. When he went to Cincinnati, he was on the disabled list 8 times while he was with the Reds. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, injuries will slow you down as a player, especially when the injuries are to your legs. So every time you have a serious injury, it just takes a little bit away from the longevity. And going on that turf in Cincinnati, he had some long stretches where he was on the DL.
And he was on the turf in the Kingdom.
Well, I can witness that he made some outstanding plays in center field. He's about as smooth as they come in center field.
On the bag, Butler down to second base for the 3-6 reverse double play. Royals baseball brought to you today by Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends. Please enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. And by AT&T, switch to the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Great day to be outside. Watch the Royals and the Mariners. 1-0 KC. As AGN bounces it to Cedeno. 2 pitches, 1 out for Washburn in the 4th inning. Guillen is 0 for 2. Fans, every Friday and Sunday game at Kauffman Stadium is a Bob Evans bases loaded 4-pack. It's the complete package. 4 Royals tickets. Each ticket has $10 towards anything you want in the stadium. Concessions, merchandise, all that for just $60. That's a $100 value. So don't forget to ask about the Bob Evans bases loaded 4-packs. It's every Friday and Sunday at Kauffman Stadium. Billy singled in the 2nd inning. He's hit in 5 straight games. Big curveball is outside. Here's the target for Billy out in left center field. Billy has homered twice this year, and he has a home run in his career against Jared Washburn. Two and two. Coming up this Saturday on Fox Saturday Baseball, Evan Longoria and the Rays will head to Fenway Park to take on David Ortiz and the Red Sox. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week at a special time of 2:30 following This Week in Baseball, which is at 2 o'clock Saturday on Fox. Still 2 and 2. Jared Washburn without a walk. He has struck out 2. Royals with 1 run, 3 hits. They scored in the 3rd, an unearned run. Coco Crisp scoring from 3rd when DeJesus reached on an error by shortstop Ronnie Cedeno. And Billy just stays alive at 2 and 2. In 5 of his 6 starts, Jared Washburn has given the Mariners 6 or more innings, averaging about 6 2/3 per start. And Billy lines it hard right to the second baseman Lopez. A good looking swing, but out. Down in the 4th inning. Here's today's Firestone leaderboard, and these are the American League on base percentage leaders. No surprise with Toronto at the top of the American League, although their offense didn't do a whole lot when they were at Kauffman Stadium on the last homestand. But you may be surprised about one of the teams in the top 5. Jacobs takes ball 1. Grounded into a double play in the 2nd inning. Off the end of the bat, shallow right center, and Suzuki, a Gold Glover, makes a Gold Glove-like play. Royals down 1-2-3 in the 4th. 1-0 Royals to the 5th inning. Don't forget, immediately after the game, it's Boulevard Royals Live, brought to you by Boulevard Brewing Company, Kansas City's beer. Joel Goldberg with Jamie Quirk out at Rival Sports Bar in right field with highlights and analysis. Joel with an interview from the field. Boulevard Royals Live immediately following the game. Lower third coming up against Brian Bannister. That lower third was not in the lineup last night. Ballantine batting now, then Johnson and Cedeno. And they have combined so far to ground into a double play and strike out twice. And it's interesting that Don Wakamatsu put in 3 right-hand batters in those 3 spots, because coming into today, righties were hitting a robust 129 against Brian Bannister.
Well, that is something you have to wonder about, unless he just feels like it's just time to get these guys on the field and get them some playing time.
Into right field, and Ian coming up to make the play. 1 down. Here's the James B. Nutter pitch count for Brian Bannister, right at 80 pitches. So that's a little high for him. Still paying the tab for a 28 pitch first inning and a 23 pitch third inning. And with 1 out, it's Rob Johnson. He was really struggling. He is 0 for his last 16, including a strikeout against Banny in the 2nd inning.
Well, when you're struggling like that, it seems like the pitchers always seem to make those good pitches on it. You know, you want to take a pitch and see a pitch, it's right down the middle. Then when you make it remind you on the swing, it's on the outside corner down. Sometimes it takes a broken bat or make yourself get jammed and get a base hit to get you going again.
Guillen won't quite get there. And it's 1-2. Let's update You Call It, presented by Sprint. And in your opinion, what has helped contribute most to first place? Not one person said defense, but 72% saying starting pitching. And with the Royals allowing just 1 run yesterday, they come in today, and it's gone down with 4 scoreless innings. Royals have the best ERA in all of baseball at 2.97.
It just shows you what the value of pitching is, not only to the Royals, but in the mind of the fans. They know how valuable pitching is. They give you an opportunity to win games, and it's really kind of nice that the Royals came out of spring training with their pitchers pitching the way they have been. So that sort of gives the fans a lot of confidence too.
Sidney Ponson allowing 1 run in 7 1/3 innings last night. Zach has allowed nothing. Gil Mesh will pitch tomorrow as the Royals begin a 3-game series against the Angels in Anaheim. Zach will pitch Saturday, and Kyle Davies on Sunday afternoon. Bannister now has struck out 6. Gil Mesh and Matt Palmer tomorrow at 9:05 Central Time. Royals Live begins at 8:30. And normally going out to face the Angels isn't any fun the way they've played under Mike Scioscia, but the Angels not off to their typical good start. They come in today 2 games under 500. They've had all kinds of pitching problems. Cedeno struck out in the 3rd inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And one thing the Angels do, Ryan, is they'll test you in all areas offensively, though. They'll test the defense. They'll test the pitcher's ability to control the running game. And Mike Scioscia does so many things that a lot of managers doesn't do. And I think that's what makes his team so special, because they have all – it's just a real fundamental, aggressive ball club that he has.
Bannister strikes out his 7th. That's a season high. Mariners down in order in the 5th. Well, Brian Bannister has said the last 2 years that in order for him to be successful like he was as a rookie, that he needs more strikeouts, and he's gotten them today with 7 in 5 shutout innings. He's also gotten a couple of ground ball double plays. And the Royals with just a 1-0 lead against Jared Washburn, who's been equally as good. The only run Washburn has allowed has been an unearned run. It'll be Bloomquist, Olivo, and Aviles in the bottom of the 5th inning.
When you got 2 pitchers out there throwing strikes and matching each other pitch for pitch, inning for inning, a lot of times it's going to be a little mistake like that to give the other team the edge. And so far, that's where Bannister's edge has come from, was the error from, well, actually it came back to the stolen base that Coco put himself 90 feet away, and then the error by Cedeno at shortstop.
Line to center field, and Willie Bloomquist has a 10-game hitting streak. So much for Willie Bloomquist can't hit.
Right now he's on a roll, and the thing that he's doing, you watch him hit right here, he's not even thinking about trying to pull a ball. He's just trying to stay inside the ball and drive the ball the other way. And how many hits we've seen him get like this in the last 3 or 4 days?
Ten-game hitting streak, batting average right around .390.
I was talking to Dave Niehaus before the game, and he was talking about Willie Bloomquist, and I said, well, the thing that's really surprised me about him was his speed, his ability to get a good jump at first base and steal a base. He said, well, we had Willie Bloomquist. If we needed a stolen base, no matter where it was in the game, he would be the guy that you put in there to run.
Olivo drops down a bunt. That would have been a long throw for Washburn. It wasn't a great bunt, but just put Washburn in a bad spot, and Olivo gets the job done.
Yeah, he got caught between a thought and making a play. His mind wanted to go to second base, his body wanted to go to second base, but somewhere along the line there, everything said first base. That was a nice positive for Olivo, though. I mean, he's really been struggling with the strikeouts, and I think that being able to do something positive like that, it's got to make your day feel pretty special.
Now Aviles will try and get Bloomquist home. Aviles lined hard to Gutierrez in center field in the 3rd inning. Gutierrez making a good running play towards right center. Up the middle, into center field. Willie around third. Royals have a 2-0 lead. Single, sac bunt, single. 2-0 Royals.
That's what's called manufacturing a run, and Mike just stays with it. It's out over the plate, then try to pull it right back through the middle. And every time you hit the mound like that, it really helps the ball speed up. But it goes back to Willie getting the base hit, Olivo getting the bunt down to get him to second, and Mike staying within himself and trying to take the ball back through the middle to get a big base hit. So that's the kind of baseball that Trey Hillman was talking about in spring training.
Beltre gets Coco. It was 1 for 3. Coco scored the first run for the Royals. It's always interesting to watch Adrian Beltre. He has such an interesting throwing motion where he doesn't, step and kind of glide towards his target. It's just like he steps and stops like a statue with his lower body and then throws over to first.
Well, you'd think that with his arm angle, the ball would run a little bit more down toward the runner, but he's got that strong arm and the ball stays straight, and he's just one of those guys he's one of those rare guys that come along that can get away with that when most guys can't. I mean, Willie Bloomquist a lot of times will throw at that lower arm angle, and he keeps the ball fairly straight from second base, shortstop, even third base.
Now ball 1 on DeJesus, doubled in the first inning, and then he reached on the air in the third that allowed Crisp to score. Now David with Aviles in scoring position and 2 down.
Well, David's done a good job making Washburn get the ball out over the plate. He got it in just a little bit the last time. He hit that little scribber to shortstop Cedeno, but he also drove a fastball in the alley for a double. So if he can make him get the ball back out over the plate and don't get into the pull mode, that's where he has a success against left-handed pitching.
Two and one. David has done well against Jared Washburn. David's done well against a lot of left-hand pitching. Does a good job of hanging in there, but he hits better than 400 against Washburn and over 20 at-bats. Just missed inside. Bloomquist singled. Olivo bunted him to second. Aviles driving him home. Aviles is driven in 8. Royals 1 in the third, 1 in the fifth. And a slider fills out the count, 3-2. Washburn has always pitched well here at Kauffman Stadium. His career record here is 6-1 with a little tiny 2.34 ERA. What happened there? They're going to say DeJesus went around. It was either hit or be hit. David's fine. Washburn strikes out his third, and the Royals using some small ball to score their second run. Single from Bloomquist, a bunt from Olivo, and a single from Aviles. 2-0 Royals. Jerry Crawford how he was trying to get out of the way, but accidentally swung.
That's one of those balls where you see it out of the hand and you think it's going to be down the middle. You commit yourself early and the ball tails back into you, and you get caught in a half swing trying to get out of the way. And I think when he let his bat go, that's when it kind of continued that swing, and that's why they called it a strike. But Dave was very lucky that ball didn't hit him in the shoulder or in the chest, because you never open up to a ball like he did to that ball.
2-0 on Ichiro Suzuki. Single, a double, and a stolen base. And now Banny has fallen behind 3-0. Banny's getting into some pitch count trouble in the mid-90s, and Ron Mayhay is throwing in the bullpen. He's had an excellent day. 5 shutout innings with a season-high 7 strikeouts, no walks. Suzuki lays down a beautiful bunt to the third base side, but it rolls foul, and Banny makes sure it stays foul. .96 pitches for Ryan Bannister. With 2 hits, Suzuki has his batting average up over 300.
That's not surprising, is it?
Where it always seems to be.
He's doing a good job of looking around the field and trying to take advantage of every little thing that the Royals are giving him from a defensive standpoint.
That is only the 3rd time all season Ichiro Suzuki is reached with an unintentional walk. So bad timing, and Suzuki leads off the inning, and that immediately brings the tying run to the plate. And now Franklin Gutierrez, who might be asked to bunt, even though it's a 2-run game. He is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. He has not looked good against Bannister, and he already has 4 sack bunts.
Well, the hit and run might be an option. Sometimes that'll make a hitter concentrate a little bit longer and cut his swing down and get the ball in play. And with a guy like hit and run with Suzuki, you're looking at an automatic 1st and 3rd right there.
Suzuki stole his 5th base of the year back in the 1st inning. On the ground to Aviles, can't quite backhand it, and the Royals will not get an out. That's an error on Aviles. If he fields that cleanly, that's the 3rd double play for the Royals today.
Those are balls you really try to work yourself to get in front of and make sure you get 1 out. But Mike wasn't able to get in front of it, and it went off the heel of his glove on the backhand side. Yeah, a little in between hop there. But that's a ball that you want to try to smother and at least try to get 1 out. But when you go to your backhand side, it doesn't go cleanly in your glove. It's going to go into the outfield.
Olivo out to the mound, and now Tien and Butler meeting on the mound to talk potential bunt defense. Mariners have their number 3 hitter coming up, Jose Lopez. Banny's next pitch will be his 100th. I don't figure a number 3 hitter will bunt, but Jose Lopez is not really a prototypical number 3 hitter. And lays it down foul, and reacted as if he thought that was going to be foul the whole time.
Well, it probably was. When you sacrifice and you want to bunt the ball to third base in this situation, runners at 1st and 2nd, but you don't want to get it just foul or just fair. That's only when you bunt for a base hit. You still want it to be on the grass enough. What you're trying to do is force the third baseman to come in and make the play, and you can advance your runners.
Try and bunt again. It's 1-1.
You get a lot of hitters, Ryan, that know they're going to sacrifice, but when they stay back in the box and on the back line with their right foot, and then they go to square around the bunt, they're really in foul territory right away. What you want to do is move up and put the plate in the middle of your stance, so when you square around everything in fair territory, you got a better chance of keeping the ball fair.
Not bunting, grounding to Tien, out at second, double play. And Frank, how many times have we seen Brian Bannister do that? The defense doesn't turn a double play behind him on a ball they should have, but Banny just hangs in there.
Well, he hangs in there and he creates ground balls. And Mark did a great job playing infield in against the bunt. He did a great job fielding that ball and getting a great throw to Bloomquist at second base.
Trey Hillman out there to have a quick visit with Bannister and make sure that he's still feeling all right after now 102 pitches. And Russell Branyan at the plate. Ron Mayhay was warming up, so Trey could have brought in the lefty to face the lefty. Big swing and a miss by Branyan.
Well, he had some success with the two-seamer running down and away from Branyan, but he's one guy that one mistake, you have a tie ball game.
7 home runs, 15 RBIs for Russell Branyan. It's 0-2. Those 7 home runs, by far the most for Seattle. The next closest is Franklin Gutierrez, and he has only 3. Banny has already struck out 7. One pitch away from getting around a walk and an error in a 2-0 game. Shallow left field. Out goes Aviles. He's got it. 6 scoreless innings for Bannister. Two to nothing Royals. Let's take a look at today's Coors Light Freeze Cam. 7 strikeouts for Brian Bannister, a season high, and 6 shutout innings. And in the 6th, Mariners had runners at first and second with nobody out, and he got out of it. Coors Light Freeze Cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. 105 pitches for Bannister. We might see him in the 7th. One and one on Tien. And that's the 3rd time today that Tien has rolled out to Russell Branyan. He's 0 for 3.
Well, this is our Sonic Slam inning, and our contestant today is Brianne Edris from Independence, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run this inning, Brianne will win $2,900. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Brianne will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals.
Big crowd here today on school day at the K. 20,000 kids. One and 0 on Jose Guillen. Into a crosswind in right field that has really picked up coming out of the south. Suzuki makes the play, 2 down. Speaking of kids, the Blue Crew, presented by Farmers Insurance, is the biggest and best fan club in baseball for kids 14 and under. For just $20, each package includes a cool sling backpack, a Royals cap, 2 game tickets, Sunday Fun Run VIP pass, and much more. You can get Blue Crew packages at customer services here at the ballpark or at Royals.com. Breaking ball for a strike on Billy Butler, a single and a line out to second base. Jared Washburn only at 75 pitches. And it's 0-2. Royals first run in the 3rd inning, crisp at 3rd with 2 outs. DeJesus grounded to short. An error by Cedeno allowed Coco to score. And then in the 5th, Mike Aviles singled home Willie Bloomquist. 1-2 on Billy. Ron Mayhay is throwing again in the Royals bullpen. The Mariners have Adrian Beltre leading off the 7th, followed by Ken Griffey Jr. And then those right-hand batters at the bottom of the order that are a combined 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts. So maybe Trey allows Bannister to go out there, and if he gets Beltre, then he gets to stay in and face Griffey. If Beltre reaches, then you bring in Mayhay. 2-2.
Yeah, that would be an interesting. The next inning will be interesting to see what Trey Hillman does. You know, we kind of figured maybe he would bring Mayhay in to face Branyan, but he went out and asked Banny how he felt, and Banny got the job done. So we'll see from a pitch count standpoint if Trey Hillman or Bob McClure are comfortable with the 105 pitches at this point.
Well, that last shot of Banny does not look like a guy who's out of the game and his day's over and he can sit back and relax. That looks like someone who's getting himself mentally prepared to pitch into the 7th. Billy takes the count from 0-2 to 3-2. And the kids love it when the count goes from 0-2 to 3-2. Right to Cedeno. Washburn gets the Royals in order in the 6th inning. striking out 7 in 6 scoreless innings. Coco Crisp doubling, stealing third, and then scoring on an error in the 3rd inning. And then Willie Bloomquist extending a hitting streak, going to second on a bunt, coming home on Mike Avila's base hit in the 5th. That's about all that's happened so far, and now it will be Ron Mayhay in the 7th inning, facing Beltre, Griffey, and Ballantine. Beltre 1 out of 2 against Bannister with a single and a line out. Bannister also had 3 double plays behind him. Innings 2, 4, and 6.
That's a good indication of the movement he has on his fastball, the sinker, the induced ground balls, and the defense made the plays.
Hit him on the foot with an 0-2 pitch.
What you call hold on to a slider a little bit too long right there. That ball was actually behind him, and so any way to avoid being hit by that pitch. He probably just wanted to bury that slider down to the back leg and held on to it a little bit too long.
Griffey is singled and grounded into a double play.
The run has been coming in, and he has been able to make good pitches with his slider, especially the left-handed hitters. Being able to keep it down and away and get some strikeouts and also get some ground balls.
2-0. 7 at bats, 3 hits for Griffey against Mayhay. One of those a home run. Chance for 2 again. Royals have turned 4 double plays and 2 with Griffey at the plate.
The Bandy's been really working hard on getting more movement. Here's one to Aviles at shortstop. And this is Billy Butler. Tag first, tag him out at short. There's Mark T, and this is a huge one here to Bloomquist. And Griff, 6-4-3 here in the 7th.
And now Ballantine launches one into deep left center field. So how big is the double play now? That's his first hit after going 0 for 2 against Brian Bannister. Putting a runner at second base with 2 outs.
Brian just gets a fastball right down the middle of the plate. And he turned on it and hit your favorite sign out there in left center field. A lot of times you get a pitcher that's pitching like Banning was pitching, lights out, not giving up anything, and the offense for the Mariners probably felt they couldn't break through. And now you look at he's out of the game, and it kind of gives you kind of a lift.
Now 0-1 on Johnson, and Ballantine's double changes the complexion of the inning. Get it?
Nakashima. I'm going to have to keep up.
Johnson is thrilled that Bannister's out of the game. It's no balls, 2 strikes. He struck out twice against Bandy, and he's 0 for his last 17. One and 2. Cruz warming up. See him in the 8th and Soria in the 9th. Johnson still live at 1-2. Our next Royals broadcast in high definition will be Saturday night. That's Zach Greinke pitching for the Royals against the Angels. First pitch at 8:05 Central. Royals live at 7:30, presented by Time Warner Cable. Well, a lot happened in the top of the 7th, but Mayhay throws a scoreless inning. Royals baseball brought to you today by Panera Bread. Explore a menu full of hearty soups, hand-tossed salads, inventive sandwiches, and savory breakfast items. Panera Bread, where every detail matters. Two to nothing Royals. Mike Jacobs swinging through the first pitch from Jared Washburn, who's had kind of a bad luck day. He's pitched well, very low pitch count. Only 2 runs allowed in 6 innings, and one of those runs unearned. No balls, 2 strikes. Jacobs is rolled into a double play. Flied out to right on a sliding play by Suzuki. Three pitches, and Washburn has struck out his 4th. Just a reminder, you can find Fox Sports Kansas City on Facebook and Twitter. On Facebook, you'll see Royals videos and behind-the-scenes photos, and follow us on Twitter and get unique Royals news and analysis during the game. To find the links, go to our webpage, foxsports.com/Kansas City. Bloomquist takes ball 1. Willie has singled and scored and has a 10-game hitting streak, one of the longest current hitting streaks in the American League.
That's a long hitting streak for a guy that doesn't play every day.
Or a guy who supposedly doesn't play every day.
Right field, left field, first base, second base, shortstop. He's been everywhere.
Two and one.
The thing you have to like about him offensively is he never really tries to be anything other than what he is. And he doesn't go up there trying to hit the home run. He tries to stay in the mode of hitting line drives and trying to work the middle of the field. And he's had a lot of success doing that.
Willie at second base today, giving Alberto Callaspo a game off. Alberto losing a 7-game hitting streak last night, going 0 for 5. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Callaspo had a 10-game hitting streak that ended, and then immediately a 7-game hitting streak up until last night.
Well, it's really a good time to get a day off. You get a day off in an afternoon game, and you don't play till tomorrow night, so it's almost like having 2 days off.
Another strikeout for Washburn, his 5th. 2 down in the 7th inning. Major League Baseball and People magazine are looking for individuals who have made a difference in their community. 30 everyday All-Stars will be honored at the 2009 All-Star Game in St. Louis. To nominate, go to peopleallstars.com. Peopleallstars, one word.com. Miguel Olivo is struck out, and he's laid down a sac bunt, which helped set up the Royals' second run against Washburn. That ball just ate up Adrian Beltre, and Olivo will have an infield single.
That's what you call too hot to handle right here. This is an unexpected pop to the backhand side. That ball starts coming up toward your lips. You want to get your head out of the way, and he did an outstanding job just stopping the ball where it was, but you could tell the ball had really jumped back into him. He had no clue where the ball was once that happened.
That's kind of a universal baseball rule, isn't it? No matter what position you're playing or you're hitting, keep the ball off your lips.
Watch your lips all the time. The after effect is not very good.
Mike Aviles, 2 good swings today, a line out to center and an RBI single to center. Washburn's ahead 0-2. Aviles giving Trey Hillman a good day after getting the night off last night. Back to Washburn, nice play, and throws him out. Royals scoreless in the 7th. They lead 2-0. Defense from a perfect homestand. They lead the Mariners 2-0, and now Panera takes us around the major leagues. Here are the other day games. Rangers in the West in first place. They've won 5 in a row at Oakland. Braves and the Marlins. Braves winning 4-2. Atlanta now 2 games below 500. Cardinals off to a great start in the Central, trying to win their 19th game of the year. Giants leading the Rockies. San Francisco in second place in the West. Diamondbacks and the Padres no score in the third inning. And of course the big news in Major League Baseball today as Juan Cruz takes over in the 8th inning. Manny Ramirez, the star outfielder for the Dodgers, suspended for 50 games for violating Major League Baseball's performance enhancing drug policy.
Well, that's not only the big news of the day, that's the big shock of the day and big shock of the year. You know, when you go outside and you use the the GNC type products or products that your team is not recommending, then it's a lot safer if you go through your ball club for your supplements and you don't have that question out there.
Dodgers with the best record in Major League Baseball, 21-8. They've won 13 straight games at home to begin the season. That's a Major League record. 3-1 from Juan Cruz to Ronnie Cedeno. Remember all that drama during the offseason. Dodgers trying to sign Manny, took the deal off the table, then it was back on again. Finally signed a 2-year contract for an enormous amount of money. And now he's going to miss 50 games.
Well, that's definitely going to make a big difference with that ball club. And, every club has a list of the supplements that they're allowed to take. But you also have players who go outside the club and take their own supplements, or maybe something that they take and don't know they're taking. So they should really check with their trainer and check with their club to make sure that what they're taking is on that list.
Cruz coming back from 3-0 to strike out Cedeno. And now Ichiro Suzuki, who has singled, doubled, walked, and stolen a base. Well, J.C. Romero, the Phillies, suspended for 50 games. The first 50 games this year, and he actually has filed a lawsuit against a supplement company claiming that there were substances in there that either weren't on the label or he wasn't aware of. I heard once, I don't know if this is true, but I heard once that supposedly there is nothing at GNC that is banned by Major League Baseball. That is a safe place to go. Now, I'm not saying that's a fact. Good play. Bloomquist gets it to Billy, but the throw is high. And you got to rush that play with Suzuki's speed.
Well, Willie did a great job getting to the ball, and that's really the only play he had was to do the 360. But if he kept the throw down, he had a good shot at getting him. But when you have to rush like that, you don't have a lot of time to aim where your throw goes. You're trying to get it in that direction.
I was with a Royals player a few years ago, and he was with his agent. And I remember his agent saying that somebody had just been caught, and overhearing the conversation, that the claim that, well, I didn't realize that there was a banned substance, that, and again, I don't know this to be fact, but that you should be able to walk into GNC and there's nothing in there that could result in a positive test. Unless flaxseed oil or beta carotene is banned by Major League Baseball.
I just think it's just so much easier to go through your trainer and go through your club and your team doctor and let them know exactly what you're doing, and it just really takes all that out of play. And I think that when you go through your strength and conditioning guy also has that list, and he can also take a look at what you're taking and make sure that all the substances are approved substances on the list and keep you out of trouble.
1-1 on Franklin Gutierrez. Struck out twice and reached on an error against Brian Bannister. One ball, 2 strikes. Gutierrez reaching on an error in the 6th inning. That was probably Bannister's most impressive inning. It was his last inning. Suzuki walked. Gutierrez hit a sharp ground ball off of a Vilas glove, which could have been a double play. And at the time, same score, 2-0. But 2 on, nobody out with the middle of the order coming up. But Lopez then hit into a double play, and Branyan popped out. And Bannister finished the 6th without allowing a run. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mayhay pitched a scoreless 7th. There was a hit batter and a double in that inning, but he also got a ground ball double play. And the Royals have turned 4 double plays today. Still 2-2. Mike Swanson, the Royals Vice President of Communications and Broadcasting, who's been in the game forever, discovered and announced to everyone, there's Swanee, that the Royals have turned 10 double plays in their last 2 games wearing powder blue. Now that's a good memory.
That's a good memory. That's also good pitching too. Inducing those ground balls, and you know they used to say what stat that you did not want to lead your position at, and I always didn't want to lead my the second baseman in double plays. And everybody said, well, why didn't you want to lead? I mean, it's not that you couldn't turn them. It's just that when you lead the league in double plays, you got too many men on base.
Yep.
So that's really not a stat that I always shout about and say what a great stat, because it means that he was under pressure a lot, and you were under pressure to turn him a lot. So
into center field, Coco coming up, 2 down. Remember, you can stay connected to the game on your computer with MLB.tv. You can get 100 out-of-market games per week. You can catch games you've missed on demand. A premium subscription, this is my favorite. The premium subscription will allow you to pause, fast forward, and rewind live games. So if you have that premium subscription, go ahead and fast forward to the 9th inning and let us know what happens today. Ball 1 on Jose Lopez. Infield single back in the 1st inning. He's also fouled out and grounded into one of the 4 double plays. I mean, I'd really like to know if the Royals are going to hang on and win this game. Good hard slider from Cruz, 1-1. Juan Cruz, in his final appearance of the last homestand, picked up a save. Joaquim Soria was not available. It was his first save since 2002. Then he was shaky on Saturday in Minnesota, all over the place. A couple of walks, which led to the tying run. Royals ended up winning the game. They're looking good today. A fastball at 95, and it's 1-2 on Lopez.
When he keeps the ball down, he's very effective, and it's hard to get his ball off. You know, that's where he gets the sinker and gets his ground balls, and he really just drives the ball down to the outer half of the plate, and you see that movement coming back to catch that outside corner. He's just got a live arm.
With that fastball. 1-2 on Lopez. And Joaquim just starting to get the arm loose. Branyan's on deck, so if he comes up, we might see Horacio Ramirez. Suzuki runs. Lopez hits it just foul. Royals bullpen on this homestand hasn't walked or worked a whole lot. Zach Greinke had the shutout. Then there was that extra inning game on Tuesday. The bullpen in 11 in 2/3 innings on this homestand has allowed 1 run. Having to chase one that was headed for the press box. Cruz strikes out 2 in the 8th inning. Here are some double plays at double speed going back to last Thursday against Toronto. The Royals turning 6 double plays. And then 4 today, 3 behind Brian Bannister. 2 from Ken Griffey Jr. And one of the double plays with Ron Mayhay on the mound. The Royals hanging on to that 2-0 lead, and now in the bottom of the 8th inning, it's right-hander Sean White. Jared Washburn, a tough luck outing today. Pitched very well, 7 innings, allowing just 6 hits, a couple of runs. 1 was unearned, no walks, 5 strikeouts for Washburn. But the best he can do now is hope for a no decision as Sean White gets the top of the order in the 8th inning. Coco wants it foul. Today's copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Kansas City Royals. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefebvre with Frank White, Joel Goldberg with producer Kevin Shank, director Steve Kurtenbach. Coco hit by that 0-1 pitch. The Royals trying to add on in the 8th inning have Coco at first with the Jesus coming up. David just missed a home run back in the 1st inning, doubling the wall in left center. Reached on an error in the 3rd, which allowed Chris to score, and he is struck out. And the Mariners in a 2-0 game in the 8th inning, expecting that Coco might take off for second base at some point.
He might take off, and they also think at third base they think David might be bunting right here also.
David lays it down. Great bunt. Lopez has to run over from second base. It's the second time the Royals have used the sacrifice bunt to move a runner up into scoring position. 1 out, and now Mark Teahan.
David does a great job getting the ball down right here. He really gets his knees bent, keeps the bat out front. He doesn't try to do too much with it, just get it out in front of the plate. And when we talked about sacrificing, make sure you just stay there and sacrifice yourself, get the ball down, then run. And you got a better chance of getting the job done.
Martin glad to see Washburn out. Mark 0 for 3, and all 3 times grounded out to Russell Branyan, and now the Mariners are going to put him on, setting up a righty-righty with Jose Guillen. And while this is happening, let's check in again with You Call It, presented by Sprint. And what do you think has helped the Royals the most this year, advancing to first place? Well, defense was at 0 earlier. That made quite a comeback. Relief pitching down to 3%, and starting pitching right now at 44%, followed by offense. Offense having a lot to do with it in the last couple of weeks.
You can almost put them all on the same level, because you need them all to be in first place. I don't think you'll be in first place with just one of those, with just pitching, because you got to have the defense to go with the pitching. I think you have to have some offense, but yet the starting pitchers don't always pitch complete games, so your bullpen's got to be good also. The point is, they all should be even.
But if I'm picking one, I'm taking starting pitching.
Definitely.
But right now, the Royals at 17 and 11 have it all working. And now Jose Guillen, you figure he's fired up. Mariners walking Tien to get to him. And Jose is nothing out of 3, lined out to center field back in the first inning. He is facing Sean White, his former teammate with the Mariners, for the first time.
Yeah, the one thing Jose can't do right here is just going with the attitude that I can't believe they walked him to get to me. It's all strategy. It's not a respect thing. It's just all strategy. So just stay within yourself and approach hitting like you approached it the whole game.
Well, this is a good start, because Coco is really in Sean White's head. Not sure if Coco wants to steal third base, but he is at least dividing Sean White's attention.
Well, once you've done it and they're aware of it, then they're going to really pay more attention to it.
Ball 1 to Jose. The scoreboard urging the fans to make some noise. Guillen is hit by a pitch. The bases are loaded with 1 out, and Billy Butler coming up.
I think you were right on when you said Sean White was really concerned about Coco. He not only looked once back there, he looked 3 times back there. Then when you go back to the plate, if you don't pick your target up, then you hit batters like that, or you lose command in the strike zone.
So Crisp at third base, Tien at second, and now Mitch Meyer is going to run for Guillen. So the Royals better speed at first and better defense for the 9th inning. Rick Adair, Mariners pitching coach, out to have a quick visit with Sean White. Again, the scoreboard urging the fans to make some noise. In the lower deck, with mostly adults, that means clap. In the upper deck, with 20,000 kids, that means scream. Billy 1 for 3, singled back in the 2nd inning. And a sinker is inside. Butler is facing Sean White for the first time. Sean White has given the Royals 3 base runners. He hit Coco Crisp, intentionally walked Mark Tien, and then hit Jose Guillen. he's fallen behind 2-0.
Well, Billy's in the driver's seat right here, so he needs the ball out over the plate that he can get in the air. Otherwise, he just got to let it go.
Hard hit, base hit. Tien going to be waved home. Valentin's throw is in time. The Royals have a 3-0 lead as Butler comes through with his 12th RBI of the year.
Billy had him in the hole, and he got a good pitch out over the plate, and he just rifled it in that hole between third and short. We've seen some great throws so far this series, Ryan, and that was another great throw by Valentin in left field.
Now first and third and 2 down. Mike Jacobs is 0 for 3. Mitch Meyer at third base, running for Jose Guillen, and Billy Butler at first. Got Butler. So the play that works once a year in 2009, it's May the 7th. Soria on for the save. Royals lead 3-0. Big ovation is Joaquin Soria is announced into the game. Don't forget, Boulevard Royals live immediately after the game with Joel Goldberg and Jamie Quirk. Highlights: Royals 3 outs away from their 6th consecutive victory, trying for their 5th shutout. And then they'll talk about the next road trip, which will take the Royals through Anaheim and Oakland. Soria will get Branyan, Beltre, and Griffey, the middle of the order. Branyan 0 for 3 so far. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tien over to the Mariners dugout. Can't quite get it. Soria's last outing was Sunday in Minnesota. Gave up an unearned run. picked up his 7th save of the year. Of the Royals' first 4 shutouts, he has closed out 2 of them. Slow curveball, 1 away. Royals pitchers have struck out 11 today.
Well, this is going to be a signature pitch with 2 strikes for Soria. And even if they look for it, it seems like it gets slower and slower every time. And they, to this point, no one's even fouled that pitch off.
And now Adrian Beltre, who's lined to second, singled and been hit by a pitch. So the Royals going for their 5th shutout. Shut out the White Sox. The 2nd game of the year. Greinke, Cruz, and Soria on a 3-hit shutout, 2-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. And then on April the 18th at Texas, Zach Greinke went all 9 innings, a 7-hit shutout. April the 22nd at Cleveland, Brian Bannister, Jamie Wright, and Soria on a 2-0 5-hit shutout. And then on Monday, the first game of this homestand, Zach Greinke with his 2nd complete game shutout, 3-0 on 6 hits. Today would be a 4-pitcher shutout. Bannister 6, Mayhay 1, Cruz 1, and now Soria working in the 9th. Then he can throw it a little harder like he did right there to Beltre.
Well, I tell you what, he's got those 4 pitches he can throw over any time, and I think that's what makes him special and Zach special, because they can get these pitches over anytime they want on any count.
Center field. 2 outs. $32,713 cheering on a sweep, not only of this series with Seattle, but of the homestand. The Royals took 2 from Chicago. They won last night 9-1, and now ahead 3-0 with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Ken Griffey Jr. 1 for 3, a single, and he's grounded into 2 double plays. Soria missed those 10 games 2 road trips ago and into the last homestand because of a tight right shoulder. Was not available for that long game on Tuesday with Chicago because his shoulder was stiff. The Royals still don't have a whole lot of concern for him. Meyer cuts that off in the corner and holds Griffey to a single. But the more that Soria is not available because of that right shoulder, the more concerned the Royals will become.
Well, and it's a long way to go, and Trey Hillman said it was pretty much his decision not to use him the other night. But it's kind of nice to have Jamie Wright and Juan Cruz down there to step in, and even Ron Mayhay in certain situations. So he does have some options to go to, and where Soria don't have to be overworked.
Sweeney has moved to the on-deck circle. So Soria and the Royals would like to end it right here, but I'm sure there are a few fans who wouldn't mind giving Michael a round of applause if Vladimir Valentin were to reach, but then Michael would represent the potential tying run.
We know how clutch he's been for the Royals over the years, and you hate to see him in a game tying or a game winning situation.
Two balls, no strikes. Royals going for their 5th shutout of the year, which would lead the league. Last year, all season, the Royals had only 8 shutouts. It's 2-1 on Valentin. The team ERA coming into the game, and that's before 8 shutout innings so far, was 2.97, the best in Major League Baseball, and that has gone down significantly. 3 balls, 1 strike.
I think coming into the season, Ryan, you go out and you make trades, you bring in free agents, hoping to make your club that much better. But at the same time, you rely on the guys that you had the year before that are coming back to get better. And you look at what Zach's been able to do with Gil Mesh, Kyle Davies has improved. So all these things add up to what you're seeing right now.
So Mike Sweeney will get a chance to bat, but Bob McClure is going to go out and talk to Joaquin Soria. So Soria got a strikeout of Brandon on the curveball. Beltre flied to center, but Griffey singled. Valentin walked. And now Sweeney. So Griffey at second base, Valentin at first. He did not go. As a member of the Oakland A's last year, Mike Sweeney faced Joaquin Soria once, and Soria got him. A noticeably trimmed down Mike Sweeney from his days with the Royals. 2-0. Soria doesn't quite look like Joaquin Soria.
Well, it looks like he's trying to be a little too fine here, staying on the corners, and normally he's got that fastball right on the corner for strike one.
And Sweeney hits it hard into center field. Griffey going to be waved home. So there goes the shutout. So with 2 outs and nobody on, a single, a walk, and Sweeney drives in Griffey, and now Sweeney represents the tying run at first base, and Trey Hillman is going to call down to the bullpen. And Indy Chavez, a former Royal, is going to run for Mike Sweeney. Jamie right now begins to loosen up in the bullpen. Ronnie Cedeno was scheduled to hit. He's the Mariners' backup shortstop, but Don Wakamatsu is going to go to his starter, and Yunievsky Betancourt will bat instead. he's got the velocity. That fastball coming in at 92, and that's about where Joaquin tops out.
Well, I think when Mike was up there, I mean, he was a tying run, and you don't want to throw anything into his swing to give him a chance to hit the ball out of the ballpark. So he was really trying to stay away on the outside corner, but left it on the plate a little bit too much, and Mike got a base hit to center field.
And now Soria jumps ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. Well, that's an interesting point. I mean, maybe it wasn't so much as Soria wasn't right as it was, I'm not going to let this guy who has 200 career home runs tie the game.
That's true, and I think he's throwing the same approach here. He knows the right center field, he's got a chance to get him out, but he throws to his power. That's where he gets in trouble. So I think he's going to stay away and take his chances out there.
It normally looks so easy for Joaquin Soria in situations like this, but today you get the feeling this is more of a grind.
Yeah, the grind is when you get painted into a certain part of the plate, then you're trying to get him out in that one area without having to be able to use the whole plate. Because inside you can come inside and miss and get yourself in trouble.
Just missed inside. Well, he had Betancourt all mixed up. Betancourt bent in about 11 different directions, not knowing where that ball was going to go.
Well, this is a curveball that's actually supposed to be down and away, and it kind of backed up and went back in, and that's a tough pitch for a right-handed hitter when that breaking ball backs up into your swing.
Now that move looks good on the dance floor, not so much in the batter's box, and now it's 3 balls, 2 strikes, and Ichiro Suzuki is on deck. You got to throw a strike to Betancourt.
You got to make it happen right here. But I think he'll do the same thing. I think he'll go to the outer half of the plate and not give him an opportunity to drive the ball in the left center field to his power.
Run home for Seattle in the 9th. 1st and 3rd, 2 down. Chavez runs, and that's ball 4. When was the last time Joaquin Soria walked 2 in an inning? Now you have to face Ichiro Suzuki, who has 3 hits and a walk. So he's reached all 4 times.
One of the good things is you got to force out at every base, so it won't be that they have to make a tough play to first base, and that should help the infielders and Joaquin Soria.
Fastball at 91. Suzuki 0 for 2 against Soria before today with a strikeout. It's 1-1. Well, it looked like it was going to be just another ho-hum Joaquin Soria outing. Striking out Branyan, getting Beltre on a fly ball to center. But Griffey singled with 2 outs. Ballantine walks. Sweeney pinch hitting. Singled home Griffey. And then pinch hitter Unieski Betancourt walks to load the bases. And Suzuki to Aviles. Out at second base, and Soria has just enough to close it out. The Royals sweep the series. And they sweep the homestand. 6 consecutive wins. They've won 7 of 10 series this year. And the Royals